Jack Roosevelt Robinson was born in Cairo, Georgia. On January 31, 1919, he was the youngest of 5 children born to a sharecropper family. Soon after he was born, his father left the family. Without his father in the house, sharecropping became next to impossible. In 1920, the family moved to the affluent community of Pasadena, California, but remained in relative poverty. As a black adolescent, he and his friends were excluded from participating in many recreational activities. This eventually caused Jackie to join a neighborhood gang. After some time, his friend Carl Anderson was able to talk him into leaving the gang. His brother Matthew "Mac" Robinson, along with his brother Frank, convinced him to pursue his interest in sports. Jackie played several sports for John Muir High School, where he lettered in football, basketball, baseball, and track and field. He was also on the tennis team. He won awards for broad jump. He was a guard on the basketball team, played quarterback on the football team, and shortstop and catcher on the baseball team. In the 1936 Summer Olympics, his brother Mac won a silver medal in the 200 meters, finishing 0.4 seconds behind Jesse Owens. The same year, Jackie won the Junior Boys Singles Championship in the annual Pacific Coast Negro Tennis Tournament and was on the Pomona Annual Baseball Tournament All-Star Team, which included future Hall of Famers Ted Williams and Bob Lemon. After graduating high school, Jackie attended Pasadena Junior College, where he continued to shine in athletics. He broke the American Junior College broad jump record that was held by his brother Mac. On January 25, 1938, he was arrested after vocally protesting the detention of a black friend by police. He received a 2-year suspended sentence for his actions. On May 7th of the same year, he suffered a broken ankle in a football game. After graduating from Pasadena Junior College, he was given an athletic scholarship to attend UCLA, where he became the first student in UCLA history to letter in 4 sports: basketball, football, baseball, and track. On September 1, 1940, at the start of his senior year at UCLA, he met Rachel Isom and the two began dating. Against the advice of his mother and Rachel, Jackie dropped out of UCLA just short of graduation to take a job as assistant athletic director for the government's National Youth Administration in Atascadero, California. That program ended in the fall of 1941. Then Jackie went to play football in Honolulu for the semi-pro Honolulu Bears for $100 a game. He returned to California in December to play football for the Los Angeles Bulldogs of the Pacific Coast Football League. But his football career was short-lived, as he was drafted in 1942. He was assigned to a segregated cavalry unit at Fort Riley, Kansas. Jackie and other black soldiers applied for officer candidate school, for which they were qualified. However, those applications were delayed several months until pro boxer Joe Louis, who was also stationed at Fort Riley, protested. With the help of the assistant civilian aide to the Secretary of the War, the applications were accepted. January 1943, Jackie graduated from OCS and was commissioned as a second lieutenant. He was reassigned to the 761st Black Panthers Tank Battalion at Fort Hood, Texas. On July 6, 1944, while awaiting test results on the ankle he injured playing football, he and a fellow officer's wife boarded an Army bus. Even though Army buses weren't segregated, the driver still ordered Jackie to the back. He refused, and the driver backed down but had the MPs arrest Jackie when they got to their destination. Jackie later confronted the investigating duty officer about racist questioning by him and his assistant. The investigating officer recommended that Jackie be court-martialed. Jackie's commander, Paul L. Bates, refused to authorize legal action. Jackie was then transferred to the 758th Battalion, where the commander authorized the court-martial. In August of 1944, Jackie was questioned by a panel of 9 all-white officers who acquitted him on 2 counts of insubordination. Although his former unit was the first all-black tank unit to see combat in World War II, due to the court-martial, Jackie never saw combat. After being acquitted, he was transferred to Camp Breckenridge, Kentucky, where he was a coach for Army athletics. While there, he met a former player of the Kansas City Monarchs, of the Negro American League, who encouraged him to write and ask for a tryout. In November of 1944, Jackie was honorably discharged. He returned briefly to the Los Angeles Bulldogs. He then accepted an offer to be athletic director at Samuel Houston College in Austin, Texas, where he coached the fledgling basketball team for the 1944-45 season. Few students tried out and Jackie had to insert himself in the lineup for exhibition games. Jackie was respected as a disciplinarian coach. That drew the attention of Langston University player and future Harlem Globetrotter Marquez Haynes. Early in 1945, Jackie received a response from the Kansas City Monarchs. It was an offer to play professional baseball in the Negro Leagues, a contract that would earn him $400 a month. Jackie played well for the Monarchs. He played 47 games at shortstop with 5 homers, 13 stolen bases, and a .387 batting average. He played in the East-West All-Star Game but went 0 for 5. On April 16, 1945, the Boston Red Sox held a symbolic tryout at Fenway Park for Jackie and other black players. The stands were limited to management. Jackie and the others still had to endure racial epithets. He left the tryout humiliated. Other teams were genuinely interested in signing black players. Unknown to anyone, Brooklyn Dodgers general manager Branch Rickey for the previous 3 years had been secretly scouting the Negro Leagues, Mexico, and Latin America. 2 Brooklyn scouts operating independently and not aware of each other were said to have reported unanimously that Robinson was the ideal Negro star to lead the invasion of organized baseball after seeing him play for Kansas City. Determined to make no mistake, Rickey sent a 3rd scout to Chicago for a series of games. 2 weeks later, that scout reported the same results as the other 2. Among those that Rickey discussed Negro prospects with was Wendell Smith, writer for the black weekly Pittsburgh Courier, who, according to Cleveland Indians owner and team president Bill Veeck, influenced Rickey to take Jackie Robinson, for which he has never completely gotten credit. On August 28, 1945, in a now famous 3-hour exchange, Rickey asked Jackie if he could face racial animus without being baited to react angrily, which was a concern given Jackie's history of confrontation on racial issues. This angered Jackie a little, and he rebutted with, "Are you looking for a Negro who is afraid to fight back?" Rickey replied that he needed a Negro player with guts enough not to fight back. After obtaining a commitment from Robinson to turn the other cheek to racial antagonism, Rickey agreed to sign him to a contract for $600 a month. Rickey did not offer any compensation to the Monarchs. He believed all Negro players were free agents due to their contracts not containing a reserve clause. Although Rickey required Robinson to keep the arrangement a secret for the time being, he committed to formally signing Robinson prior to November 1, 1945. Rickey's offer allowed Robinson to leave behind the Monarchs and their grueling bus rides, and he went home to Pasadena. That September, Jackie signed with Chet Brewer's Kansas City Royals, a postseason barnstorming team in the California Winter League. Later that off-season, he briefly toured South America with another barnstorming team, while his fiancée Rachel pursued nursing opportunities in New York City. On October 23, 1945, it was publicly announced that Robinson for the 1946 season would be assigned to the Montreal Royals, the Brooklyn Dodgers AAA farm club. This way he could get the professional experience needed to determine if he was ready for the major leagues. On the same day, with representatives of the Royals and Dodgers present, Robinson formally signed his contract with the Royals. In what was later referred to as the Noble Experiment, Robinson was the first black baseball player in the International League since the 1880s. He was not necessarily the best player in the Negro Leagues, and black talents Satchel Paige and Josh Gibson were upset when Robinson was selected first. Since the Montreal Royals would be spring training in Daytona Beach, Florida, the local media wasted no time in covering the signing and subsequent related news. The owners of the Kansas City Monarchs were upset over the signing of Robinson, and the next day threatened to camp on baseball commissioner, Kentucky Senator Happy Chandler's doorstep. Commissioner Chandler received a letter of formal protest from the presidents of the American and National Negro Leagues. Chandler refused to recognize the protest, saying it did not constitute a bona fide dispute for consideration by his office because he had no legal authority over the Negro Leagues. At a press conference, Chandler declared that he would like to see the time that all baseball would be under one head, with even amateur ball coming under the jurisdiction of the commissioner's office. Early Brooklyn and Montreal workouts start February 1st in Sanford, and March 1st teams report to Daytona Beach for spring training. Jackie and Rachel were married in Los Angeles on February 10, 1946. They had no immediate honeymoon as they were preparing for the trip to Florida. On the way to spring training, their trip was delayed when they were told they couldn't board their connecting flight in New Orleans. No restaurant in the airport would serve them. They found a hotel, and the next day they boarded a plane for Pensacola but were removed there because two white people needed seats and the plane had to make room for extra fuel because of weather. A late switch in training plans moved Montreal to Sanford from Daytona Beach for a week to 10 days. Finally, on March 4, 1946, Jackie Robinson and black pitcher John Wright reported to Sanford. 2 days later, Sanford Police Chief Roy G. Williams removed Robinson and Wright from the field. Branch Rickey commented, "If they can't play, we don't play." And the teams moved to Daytona Beach, with Brooklyn working out at City Island and Montreal working out at Kelly Field on Cypress Street. Mary McLeod Bethune was a close friend of Eleanor Roosevelt and served as an advisor to 5 U.S. presidents. She played a large role in getting the community to accept Robinson's place on the field when others wouldn't. The team headquarters for Montreal was in Holly Hill at the Riviera Hotel. However, Robinson and Wright were not allowed to stay with the team and were housed by local black residents. March 17, 1946, Jackie Robinson made history as the first black man to play in organized white baseball since the 1880s. Daytona Beach and City Island Ballpark became the birthplace of integrated baseball. 3,000 were on hand that day to see his first game, which Montreal won. Jackie, however, went 0 for 3, but reached base on a fielder's choice, then stole second and scored when the next batter hit a single. Montreal players had an extra incentive to do well. In the press box were 4 well-heeled fans, including Homer Hardesty, the proprietor of the Riviera Hotel. These men issued a bounty on hits, paying a player $10 for a double, $30 for a triple, and $40 for a home run. 2 days later, on March 19, 1946, Señor R. Janis, representing the Pasquel brothers of the Mexican Baseball League, approached Robinson as he was working out at Kelly Field and offered to pay him $6,000 plus expenses for him and Rachel to play 1 season in Mexico. Robinson said he wasn't interested. There was too much at stake. Later that day, Rickey spotted Janis at City Island Ballpark and had him banned. March 21, 1946. Montreal beat Jersey City 3-1 in a game on a windy, cold day that saw Robinson go hitless in 1 at-bat. Robinson's next game was March 23 against Brooklyn. The Royals won 4-3, but Robinson went 0 for 3. He was not having a very good spring training thus far, and it was almost over. His next game was to be on the road in Jacksonville on Sunday, March 24, but the Jacksonville Playground and Recreation Board had a long-standing policy against mixed contestants in athletic events. March 30, 1946, Montreal played the St. Paul Saints at City Island Ballpark. The Royals won 3-1, but Jackie had to run out a bunt to record a hit. April 2, 1946, Montreal would once again play Brooklyn at City Island Ballpark. Montreal would win this game 6-1. Robinson would get 2 singles and a walk. Parts of this game was captured by a fan on 16mm color film, including 32 seconds of Jackie Robinson at bat. It is the oldest known film footage of Robinson playing in integrated baseball, and it was shot by my grandfather Robert Bates. The 12-year-old bat boy in the footage is my now 92-year-old father. April 5, 1946, Robinson continued to break out of his hitting slump as he got 2 hits and 2 stolen bases. However, Montreal lost to Indianapolis 6-2. April 10, 1946, Montreal would have a rematch with Indianapolis. This time it was a marathon game that went 15 innings, with Montreal winning 4-3. Jackie got it started in the first inning with a single and stole second, then scored on a double by George Shuba. He had his biggest hit of spring training in the bottom of the 9th with a triple. Montreal would play their final 3 games in exhibition against the Daytona Beach Islanders before leaving Daytona Beach. They won all 3 games, Jackie played in 2 of them, going 1 for 4 in the first one and scoring a run in the second game without an official at bat.